Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to bring you a spring DIY. But before I get into that, I want to tell you that my name is LaDeja. In case you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Please don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy DIYs and how-to videos. And I also do an occasional family vlog here and there. But in today's video, I wanted to show you guys a farmhouse style DIY that you could use for spring. For those of you who really do love that wood look, that farmhouse wood rustic look, but you don't really woodwork. So I have a shortcut and I have a cute way that you guys can come up with something that's for spring and super cute for your house to use as decor, or you could even hang it up. So stay tuned until the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and I'll see y'all next time.
So I'm using these wood shims that I actually used in another video, and you can check that video out, along with this plaque that I got from Dollar General. I also have some items here that I got from Dollar Tree as well. So this basket came from there, and these eggs came from Dollar General as well, $1. And I also got these wood letters from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to use those in this video. This piece of cardboard came from actually between pieces of vinyl that I had purchased, and I just saved it. So now I'm going to use these wood pieces that I got from Lowe's, and I'm going to add those to the cardboard. So as I'm laying them out, I'm putting them in from thick to thin, but I'm alternating them. So if you've ever seen wood shims, they kind of have like a slanted type of design to them, I guess, because, you know, depending on what you need to use them for, sometimes you need something taller or shorter. So I'm just going to alternate putting them on. I only used a dab of hot glue, and that secured it really well to the cardboard here, and it really was no problem at all. Not a lot of hot glue used here. So now I'm just going to take my scissors and trim around the outsides of it. And now that I'm thinking, I probably could have used an X-Acto knife to get rid of the excess on the outsides, because the blade from the scissors was just a little bit thick while I was trying to go around where the wood shims were, but it came out just fine, and I was able to get the excess off of there. So now I'm going to do a good bit of painting here, and this is just an old foam brush that I have, and I'm going to go ahead and use that. I didn't get anything new here. I'm using this ballerina pink paint that I've used in other videos as well, and I'm not adding a ton of pink to the wood slats right now, because I'm just making sure that each one has just enough paint on it where there is some, but it's not fully covered, because I want to go in with water and thin out the paint just a little bit. So when I do thin out the paint a little bit more, there's gonna be more coverage. And even though I don't want to fully cover it where you don't see any of the wood coming through, because then that would defeat the whole purpose of the whole farmhouse design of this, I do want to make sure that the paint does extend the entire length of the wood for the most part. And again, I don't overthink this. I don't paint so much, and I don't really think a lot about it. I just kind of bring it on, paint it, and then that's it. So I'm going to let it dry, and as I let this piece dry, I have some more painting to do for my other pieces that I'm going to be adding in just a little bit. So now I have 2 more wood shims that I'm just going to paint white. And in the video, you're going to see that I'm using Waverly chalk paint. I hadn't really used any other brand lately. Kind of just been going with Waverly for the most part. I'm always in Walmart, so it's easy for me just to pick up that brand of chalk paint. But I am going to start to try other brands in the future when I'm bringing some other videos to you guys, just to give you options and variety. But all I do is paint the very top of these wood shims, and then I let those dry. I don't even bother to paint the side. And then I'm going to use that same white color and paint my wood plaque. But I do decide to paint the sides of the wood plaque because I want it to be all white. So now I'm just going to paint my letters. And again, I got these from Dollar Tree, and I had enough letters in that one pack to spell out the word spring. And I'm thinking now that even if you wanted to spell out Easter, I think that would be great. And if you were to use this for maybe a baby or a young kid or a girl, boy, whatever, if you were to use these letters or maybe this design, you could even use it to spell out the name, and I think that would be cute as well. So now I'm going to do some work on my basket, and I'm just going to cut off my tag here, and there are some little eggs inside of there. So I don't know if my kids put those in there or if they came with the basket. So I have to be honest, guys, I don't remember, but I do have a very easy time cutting this off, and I just pretty much rip it off of there. There's nothing special happening here. I just take it off, and when it gets stuck, I take my scissors and cut that piece too. I just got rid of that because I don't know that I would be using this for something else, and generally I try to use every piece of something that I'm DIYing, but in this case I don't really know. So for right now, I'm gonna paint these a dark brown color because I'm gonna use jute to cover it with, and I didn't want that gray showing in the background, and I'll be specific about the shade of this paint as well. Make sure to check out the description box for all of the items that I used today. So there's jute, and there's my basket in 2 pieces. So I'm putting the basket back together. My idea here was to put the basket back together and then wrap the jute around the handles and the basket itself. I realized quickly that this was definitely not the best idea because when I go to turn it and add the jute to it, it was annoying me. So I said, okay, let me cut a piece here and then try to use the jute and tie it around there this way, well, wrap it around there this way rather. And that would have taken so long. The jute was getting tangled. My nerves got bad, and I was like, you know what? Let's take this apart. So I took it apart and I added in some hot glue there. And even though the handle does bend, it didn't change the shape of my basket, which is what I was initially worried about. I'm very pleased with the quality of the plastic here. So I went in and added the jute here and just a dab of hot glue and then wrapped it around there. And this was very, very simple. So now I'm just going to take the remaining jute and add it to the rest of my basket here. And if you look at it really closely, there are these little grooves here, and that was really helpful when I was adding the jute to the basket because I didn't have to use a ton of hot glue, which is always a plus because I can't stand for hot glue to be showing through whenever I can avoid it. So this was a good opportunity to avoid having to use a ton of hot glue because those little grooves actually were catching on to the jute and kept it from moving really. So if you look here in the center, I'm not going to put anything there. I don't need to attach anything in that little hole there. That's where that bow was, and that's the hole that the bow was attached through, but I'm not adding anything to the middle. So I'm just adding some hot glue there, adding some more of the jute to the basket, and by the time this part is over, you're going to notice that the basket is fully covered in jute, and I still have quite a bit of that spool left over. Sometimes with jute, you'll notice that there are these pieces that are odd and kind of black looking. I don't know what that is, but sometimes you do have to kind of cut those off and get rid of those. But I was good to go after I cleaned that up and I got everything covered, and the bottom of the basket is actually open, but I don't do anything to close that up. I just leave it open because what I'm going to put in it is not going to fall through. But I just want to show you guys how you come from the bottom and on an angle to the top, and then from the top to the bottom to create an X. So these are those little things that you can do to add some small details that make your crafts just a little bit more special. I just kind of wanted to slow it down so you guys could see what that looks like. So try that. And if you do, let me know. And then I ended up with the crisscross on the front and on the back. So now I'm just kind of adding in some jute where I feel like it wasn't as full, especially at the very top, because you won't see it here, but in the final reveal of the entire craft, I want to show you guys how I added in some of the moss there at the very top of the basket. That was a last minute tip I got from my husband. He was like, why don't you add the green grass stuff? And I thought, yeah, that's a fantastic idea. So it came out so cute. I was so proud of him. I think I'm rubbing off on him. All right, and that's the basket, guys. This came out so cute. Probably one of my favorite DIYs this spring. So now I'm gonna take my speckled eggs in only 2 colors. So I took out only pink and white, and just a dab of hot glue did just fine. And these are actually kind of similar to a thin styrofoam type of material, so these were very easy to add with hot glue and stick in my basket. So now I'm gonna work on my spring sign, and I just put the letters on there and kind of moved them where they weren't straight up and down, because that's kind of boring to me. I really do like slanted, kind of crazy looking letters, and I just moved them as I put them on there to fit them best, and just a dab of hot glue, and that was it. Spring sign is done. So now I'm going to show you how I added in 2 layers of the jute, just in case you want to hang this up. And I did not use any type of a special hanging, none of that, but I am going to show you what I do when I have twine or something thin that I want to use to hang. I just add in scrap pieces of cardboard, and really thin cardboard, so that works out perfectly fine. I do it all the time. So now I'm going to add in my white pieces of the wood shims, and I'm going to put them slanted, and I'm going to sit my spring sign towards the top, just a dab of hot glue, and that was it. Little bit of glue there, and I attached my spring sign, and now I'm going to place my basket where I think I want it to go, and I'm going to hot glue my basket onto the rest of my wood background. I do use Gorilla Hot Glue, and I swear by the stuff. I absolutely love it. So here it is, guys, the final product. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please take the time to subscribe and click the bell so that you're notified when I post. I look forward to making more spring DIYs for you. I appreciate you watching, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye, y'all.